Hey, hello beautiful souls. How are you? What's going on in your world as the world continues to crumble and disintegrate and reform itself around us? We are at the end of June, and I've been doing a personal check-in in terms of like, where am I with things I put on my vision board and goals I had set for myself. So I thought today we could do a little check-in with some questions that are really good questions to ask yourself to kind of do that check-in. And I'm sure you've noticed, different background. I am in my mobile office, aka my home, aka the converted van for gypsy life. Alright, if this is your first time tuning in, I am Wendy. This is my space. Anywhere I'm sitting is my space. And this is Holistic and Well. And we talk about and cultivate better health through intentional wellness, herbalism, and self-healing. So we're doing a mid-year check-in. And you say, well, Wendy, why do we need to do a mid-year check-in? Let me tell you, it's important to hold ourselves accountable for what we're trying to accomplish and not just be this leaf that just flutters around in the wind and wherever we fall, that's where we fall. At least that's not how I live my life. I know that there are free spirits that's what they do. They just kind of, whatever happens, happens. And I'm trying to incorporate that more into my life, but I do like to have some specific things I'm working towards, because then that gives me some direction as to what I need to be doing on a daily basis. Plus, there is a lot of research around the fact that when you self-explore, that you are doing a form of mindfulness. And so you're getting out of your normal head of the anxiety and stress that we experience on a daily basis. And it's a form of mindfulness, and it helps to train in your brain. You're doing some cardio workout for that brain. And we got to do that to stay young and to keep our brain elasticity going, and the flexibility, the mental flexibility, which we need right now. We need a shit ton of mental flexibility right now because things are crazy. Some other reasons to do a half-year check-in or a monthly check-in or a weekly check-in, whatever works for you, is that it really helps to reduce your mood swings. Because again, mood swings are usually because of anxiety or the fear of the unknown or dreading something that's happening. And so that's where those moods kind of just oscillate and go around and fluctuate. So knowing what's going on in your world and feeling like you're empowered and that you have some control over what's happening in your immediate world helps with those mood swings. There's also research around that when you check in frequently or you do self-exploration, that it really can be a self-esteem booster. And that's because you feel accomplished. You feel like you have some efficacy. You feel like you are able to take care of yourself, that you're autonomous. And so checking in frequently helps you to boost that. And I don't know about you, but we all need to have our self-esteem boosted from time to time. Wouldn't you agree? Alright, so here's the 10 questions that I pose to you that you ask yourself this time of year or whenever you need to kind of stay on track with what you're trying to accomplish. So question 1, I ask you, are you utilizing your vision board? Now, if you tuned in to one of my very first videos, we worked on a vision board together. Now, because I am going to be mobile and I'm in my my tiny house on wheels, I had to condense that big board down into something small. And here is what I came up with. Now, my theme for this year is to thrive. That was what I came up with. And so that's how I gauge a lot of the questions and a lot of my actions and my goals. Is that going to help me thrive in the long run? Because doing something right now might feel good, but is that going to help me thrive at the end of the day? So, are you using your vision board? Do you have it somewhere, place where you can see it? Are you looking at it? Are you envisioning? Are you imagining? Are you feeling the goals that you have set for yourself on your vision board? It's very real that the more that the mind sees something, the more that the mind says something, that you begin to manifest that. The energies around you begin to manifest that. So make sure you're using your vision board. If you don't have one, tune into the vision board link that I did at the earlier of the year, or find one that resonates with you. But use your vision board. All right, question 2 is, what are the positive people, places, events happening in your life? As a mechanism of survival, human beings tend to focus on what would be considered negatives, because negatives interfere or can compromise our safety on a very primitive level in our brain, in our primitive part of our brain. So that's why we tend to focus on negatives, because we interpret those as being things that can compromise our safety. So what are the positive things happening in your life? That could be people, that could be places that you've gone, that could be events that have happened, that could be financial positives, that could be health positive. What are the positive things going on in your world? Question 3, what makes me inspired? Being able to know and understand what inspires you is super important, so that you're able to, kind of figure out which direction you want to go. And if you don't know, because you haven't taken the time to figure that out, because of all the background stuff happening in your brain and all the stuff happening on in the world, it's really tough to be able to figure out what inspires you if you haven't been able to ask yourself that question. So, what inspires you? Question 4, are you taking time to take care of yourself? And with that being said, I need a drink of water. Are you doing self-care? Are you doing self-care on a consistent basis? Because there's no such thing as catching up on self-care. Kind of like you really don't catch up on sleep. It's this concept we have that if I sleep 12 hours today, that I'll catch up and be able to make up for the time I missed out, last night because I was out late. That's some kind of a fable or myth or lie that we've told ourselves. We don't catch up. So do consistent self-care. And you should be exploring, what does that look like and what does that mean for you? Question 5 is going to be, what are my top 3 values? What are my top 3 values? That's a question that constantly evolves and morphs, because as we get older, our values change. I have an activity that is on my website. It's a free download for you that you're able to narrow your values down to your top 3. I will put the link in the description box for you. This is a really good exercise to do yearly, to do quarterly, because as life happens, we change. Simply said, what might have been important to me now might not be important to me in a year. And we have to be able to know that about ourselves, so that we can live the fullest, most happy, productive life that we want to live. Understanding your values is really key. I should have had that as the first one. All right, question 6. What's holding me back? What's keeping me down from accomplishing the things that we have on our vision board, or the goals that we have put in our calendars, or our on our whiteboard, or our journal, wherever we put our goals at? What's holding me back? What's keeping me from achieving those goals? Are they realistic goals? Have you been able to break them down into smaller tasks so they don't feel so overwhelming? Understanding and being able to articulate that is super important. What's holding me back? Question 7. What do I need to heal? As human beings that we are in relationships and situations. Hey, y'all like my Black Lives Matter shirt? Shout out to my niece Tiffany. I'll put her link in the description box. Look, squirrel, I got so sidetracked. Anything that sparkles. What do I need to heal? As we go through life, as we have experiences, You know, I'm 52 years old, and I'm still healing from some of my childhood traumas, because those just don't go away. The healthy way is to be able to learn how to identify them and then learn how to maneuver through them, because we are who we are. The breeze feels so good. Can you guys hear the trees? Just a bit of mindfulness. But what do you need to heal? And what's holding you back from healing? That's a really good one. What's holding me back from healing? That's kind of combining those two questions. What's holding me back from healing? Really good things to think about. 8, how am I challenging myself? Let me tell you, as a white woman in America, I have a shit ton of privilege. And I'm educated. It's important to be able to understand and be able to recognize the need to challenge yourself. So I'm in a Facebook group. It's basically for people in Kansas City, because Kansas City's crime is off the chain. I mean, we are just off the charts. I don't know if it's in the water. I don't know what's going on. But of course, part of the crime is the systemic obstacles and the systemic oppression and the systemic racism that continues to exist and perpetuate. So this group I'm in, we are actually reading this book, White Fragility. You know, and I consider myself to be a pretty socially aware and self-aware person. And one of the comments in this book was that the more progressive that you tend to feel that you are, the more privilege that you have not uncovered or acknowledged. So I'm exploring that, because as I've stated to you in past videos, is I'm very much about understanding, acknowledging, and utilizing my privilege to better the world that I'm in, the community that I am, my circle, my family. And you cannot do that without exploring. Just a few pages in, but I'm enjoying it so far. The author doesn't sugarcoat, and I really like that. I really like when there's directness, to the point, let's put it on the table and let's deal with it. That's the way I best deal with things. Question 9. When is the last time I pushed boundaries on myself? When is the last time I pushed the envelope? I pushed the limitations. That goes with the challenge. Like, when's the last time I pushed myself to do more? That is so important, because we get caught up in this comfortability of life, and I'm not exempt. Everything I say on here, I am not exempt from, folks. I don't ever want this to come across as preachy or that I am on a pedestal, because you know what? I have my own shit that I slap in as well. But are you pushing the boundaries for yourself? Because that's how you grow. That's how you're able to burst out of that circle that you're in and create a new circle, so that you have new challenges and you have new things that are going to hopefully impact your world and the world that you live in a positive way. So are you pushing the boundaries and the limitations you've set on yourself? Question 10. So what is your personal mantra? I think you should develop a new one every year, and sometimes they stick around. But remember, I said mine was, this is a year for me to thrive. This is a year for me to thrive. And what does thriving mean to me? What does thriving mean to you? You have to figure that out. But what is your personal mantra that you can utilize on a daily basis? And it's kind of like your compass, in a way, of being able to stay focused with your eye on the prize, whatever the prize is. The prize is different for everybody, but what is the prize? Create and utilize your personal mantra. It's so, so, so important. There's the saying that, what you think is what you believe, and what you believe is, the actions that now unfold because of thoughts. So that's it. My 10 questions for your mid-year check-in. Life is kind of crazy right now, and I've really been putting off getting my travel on, getting my gypsy on, because the world's been closed. And in August, I'm hoping to go ahead and get out there. So tune in. I haven't done a van life update in a while. I've got a lot of new things that I've done. I've got some products that I want to be able to reveal and share for other people that are considering this life. So that'll be coming up, I hope, this Sunday. Life is busy and I don't always get things done when I say I'm going to get them done. I am pushing the limits and the boundaries. So, you know, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here. I'm so happy and I appreciate you being here. Make sure that you download the values activity. It's free. I also have a wellness audit for you to be able to do a check-in on how you're feeling. Sometimes we get on autopilot and we don't realize that our body and our mind and our spirit is screaming at us, do something different. So there's a wellness audit on my website as well that is free. Download it, utilize it, share it, and have it be a tool to help you kind of guide yourself through your own personal transformation and your own check-in. So until next week, have a wonderful rest of your week and a weekend, and we'll talk soon. Stay holistic and well. Bye-bye.